Hello, everybody. Welcome to KB and Company. Uh, Today's a very, very, very special video. It's really great. I'm gonna give out some helpful tips. You're gonna learn a little bit about me. You're gonna learn a little bit more about this blog and what it kind of took. So hopefully, it won't be too boring for you guys. Hang in with it because it's really good. I do have a website, and that link will pop up on the screen. If it already hasn't already, it should at the beginning of this video. But also I gotta thank everybody who has followed, who's followed. We're finally at we're averaging about 6,300 followers day to day, which is really great. I guess you guys see my guitar over there. Don't worry, it's not a real Fender. Well, let's kind of jump into it. Just basically learning about me. I started doing these blogs a while back ago, probably like a few years ago. I did have a YouTube channel, and I had really high ambitions for that channel to become successful, but then, I think I started out just about how every YouTuber would. You're always taping, you'll tape a video game, specifically like Gran Turismo 6, but then I realized that there was just a lot of people doing that, and if you don't add your own uniqueness to it, you're just not going to get a lot of popularity out of it. So yeah, I stopped working a few years ago back. Just simply, I've had a progressive disability over the years. I was born with something called patellofemoral dysplasia, and basically what that means is when I was inside my mother, my kneecaps slipped to the side and it pulled my feet around backwards, and I was born that way. Which means I can walk, but it's extremely difficult, and it can be painful at times, especially when it rains. I even got scars. There's bilateral scars on both my knees from it, so I'll have those to the day I die. I use an aid of knee braces, which kind of help. This is kind of for the right side of my knee, because my right side of my knee doesn't need as much support as the left. My left leg's a little bit weaker, so I use this brace. It's more heavy-duty brace for the left knee. And considering the condition I was born with, at the time I was born, and I was born in about 1987, it was so rare that I was the second baby born this way, and that's how rare it is. So it's really hard to show people what kind of disability that really is. And I had a typical childhood, just like anybody else. I was very active, rode BMX bikes, and went on trails, and I skateboarded, and I rollerblade, and went to ice rinks and stuff like that. And so the disability has always given me a lot of problems, but I've always had a positive attitude, and I'm always moving forward. So, and not focused on the past, I mean. And yeah, it's crazy. But also though, when I was younger too, I think I was like in high school, talking about BMX bikes, I used to love, I used to frequent a trail that used to be like right near my house. And I went off a big tabletop jump, and and I had one of my friends, call up my name, and mistakenly I looked back, and before you know it, I hit the ground, and I did a couple barrel rolls, I rolled, and eventually, the bike just came right down on my back, right on my spine actually, in the lower back, and it put a crack in the vertebrae. And now that this is healed, but now it's giving me problems just simply because I didn't listen to the doctors, and I just went back to being a kid. And I think, well, now I'm 30 years old, and now everything the doctors told me that I should have did, now I'm regretting, because I should have listened. I am definitely in a process of trying to get Social Security disability, but I really don't want to go that route, just simply because I've always been dependent on myself and me alone. And my parents were very strict, so I was raised very strict. So I didn't have cell phones as a kid. I was lucky to have a 13-inch TV in my bedroom, and I was lucky to get cable hooked up to that. And I didn't really have any consoles. You know, I didn't get any of that kind of technology until I was like 18, and I had to buy it myself. You know, and so, you know, a lot of my work experience was, you know, working in retail at first, and then, you know, I got into much, so the more skilled I got, you know, the more difficult jobs I could do. You know, I worked in manufacturing factories. You know, I used to work in a warehouse, you know, and it was a freezer warehouse, so it was always in the minus temperatures, so it was cold, really cold work, but it paid good, and you got a lot of good benefits out of it. You know, so recently I really haven't had a whole lot of treatment with that, and you know, I had to stop working because the physical pain just got to that point where I needed a lot, I needed medical attention, and I had to go down to welfare, and I had to apply for medical assistance and try to get food stamps, which I have now. I go to the doctor. Actually, I don't currently go to the doctor right now, just simply because I went to the doctor so much that I can't get anything. They're just, well, they don't want you to be dependent on pain meds, and they don't want to be responsible for getting you hooked. So that's kind of understandable. You know, and I did physical therapy for like 8 months, and so I still have back pain from that. And you know, so now I'm jumping through hoops to go through pain management and eventually a neurologist, and you know, I plan to go back for physical therapy to try to help treat some of these problems. And yeah, yes, I'm in pain like every day. There's days I tear out and some days I don't. Obviously today it's not as bad. So I'm basically just pulled together and wanted to make a video for everybody there. You know, and as an adult, you know, so a few years ago, you know, I was living at my parents' house. You know what I mean? Because, you know, when you are unemployed and you physically just couldn't work anymore, you know, well, I mean, I stayed at my parents' house before the disability got bad, and it was a really, really abusive relationship, really. You know, I did all the house cleaning, you know, I took care of the animals, you know, because they had a cat and they had a dog, you know, so I was basically the butler. I was basically a butler and a maid, you know, and I did all the yard work, and I did all the physical grueling tasks that I probably shouldn't have done, and it kind of goes back to being, you know, now I regret doing all that stuff because it's made it to the point where I cannot physically work anymore. And then, you know, my stepfather just was so strict on me, even as an adult. He didn't see my disability, he didn't see the problems I did, he just thought I was a bum. So, you know, he kicked me to the streets, especially during winter time, because it was just before Christmas back in 2016. And, you know, luckily enough, I got into a homeless shelter, and I was there for like the past 4 months. It took me 4 months to get out of there. They have programs. They have a program. Well, it's like not so much of a program, but it's an organization called Your Way Home, and they help people that are homeless get a leg up in life. You know, they help you do a fresh start. I'm in a brand new studio apartment, which is pretty nice, and that's all I really need. And it's cheap, and really the only utility is electric. So, and they're helping me out with that. And as long as I'm proactive, I'm getting the treatments, and I am moving forward. And I'm always trying to constantly improve myself, which really motivated me to start a blog. I started a blog just because I wanted to be an advocate for people, because I'm not the last, and I'm sure I'm not the first, and I'm not the last person that has gone through. Everybody goes through some kind of abusive relationship in their life, whether it's with their parents or friends or a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whoever. So it's a tough. Sometimes it's tough out there. It's a jungle out there, really. And so basically I made the blog to try to create some kind of advocacy for people. I don't expect people to feel sorry for me because of my physical problems and, the situation that I am in. I really wanted to create a blog to become successful so I can make a living at it. And, it would be, a low impact kind of thing where I didn't have to be so much physical, not working with the body, but, using your mind, using the brain as a, kind of working tool. So I've been doing that over the last few years. I think I had mentioned before, maybe I haven't yet, but I did have a YouTube channel. Oh yeah, I did mention it. And, I made Grandsters. I did video games, a lot of video. I filmed a lot of video games, and I did a few personal vlogs. And I'm going to try, I can't, I don't know if it's right to promise it now, but I am, it just depends on the day. I'm always going to try to bring out some good content for you guys. Which is probably going to be more of a blog. I can honestly say that I'm settled into my new place. I just don't have a TV and got a radio, so it can get a little boring. And especially when you have no money, it's hard to go anywhere because you can't do anything. Nowadays, you need money to entertain yourself or to go out and do things. And so let's get into helping you guys out. And I started Twitter probably about a year ago. And it took about a year to get over 6,000 followers. And the way I achieved that was I kind of had believed in a follow for a follow, and I still do it to this day. I will follow people to follow them, just simply to help kind of like people who don't have a whole lot of followers. Let's say someone has less than 50 followers. You need help because everybody has that goal. They want to try to make money out of this at some point. And everybody wants that Ferrari. Everybody's chasing a Ferrari or some kind of supercar, or they want to live in a big house, or they want to be a multi-millionaire. Well, and that takes a lot of hard work, and it's never there's no quick path to it. I can attest to that, just simply because I've been going through trials and errors with this blog. And I've learned some things, and I'm still learning some things. So you're constantly learning. So, and I kind of want to hear from you guys. You know what I mean? You can just give me a direct message on Twitter, or you can email me. Like I said, all that information is on the website that I have, which will be in here too. Like I said, and even this video will be on the main website too, especially the full video, considering that on Twitter, if you did see this video on Twitter, you got a small clip of it, and basically told to watch the rest of it. And yeah, basically that's what you got to do. Try to just retweet stuff. Retweet information that you think would be helpful for people, because brands love that. It never hurts to have too many people promoting their stuff, or a product or a service, or really anything. So yeah, it's great. Sorry guys, I'm a little out of sorts. Just adding to the health thing, I do kind of suffer from anxiety, so I talk on my hands. So I know it's a little weird. Maybe it's not weird, but I have depression and anxiety, and I take medications for that. And I think later on the road, so I don't know. I'm in the process of treating it, and sometimes, I don't know. There's good days and there's bad days. So follow people. If you see information that can help people, retweet it, like it, try to help it. Try to follow people. Just follow people, and eventually they'll follow you back. Until you reach the point where I'm at. Once you reach 5,000 followers on Twitter, they start limiting you on how many people you can follow. They kind of want you to have an equal ratio of followers. So realistically, I'm following more people I'm following more people than people following me. I try to do my best to follow people back, but still, you know what I mean? I get that little message, and it basically just tells me, you have reached your follow limit, and it gives you a link to describing what's causing that problem. And you know, I went through all that. Sorry, I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit. It is hot. It's warm. It's a warm week. It's 80 degrees today. But basically, you know, that's today's video, really. I don't have too much more for you guys. If you want to learn more, definitely check out the website. Definitely stay tuned, because I'm going to try to do more vlogs. And, you know, I'm going to keep on promoting stuff, just basically by retweeting information for people, like maybe how to do a vlog. And there's a lot of people that cover that, and you can learn a lot from other bloggers, especially like me. And so yeah, that'll do it for today's video. If you guys have any questions or any concerns, you know, you can always email me, which is on the website. You can call, especially for sponsors. If you're interested in sponsoring me, my number is on the website. So basically, you just call me 9 to 5 Eastern Standard Time. Obviously, because I live in Pennsylvania, so it's on the East Coast. And all right. And until next time, guys. Bye bye. And I don't know. We'll see what happens.